Hi and welcome to another Where Are the Partners video. Today's about a very busy day we had on the 5th of February, and that's because in Penang there were two major celebrations. One was Thaipusam and one was effectively the finale of the Chinese New Year celebrations. So very big day, awful lot of people came to the island. Don't know how many came in the end. We were reading reports of anywhere between an extra 300,000 to an extra 1.3 million people coming. One of the big reasons is that this festival that you're seeing now, Thaipusam, hasn't been properly held for 2 years thanks to COVID. I didn't even know it existed. I'm here with a friend, Carl, and he was actually born here in Penang, but his parents left. So he was only 12 months old when they left, but he always remembers a photo of them coming to this festival many decades ago, and he always wanted to come. So I joined him and I had no idea what to expect, and I'm very glad I did. A very, very interesting experience. It's a festival where it's primarily Indian festival, and they come here to celebrate Lord Murugan's battle over a demon. Again, I'm going to ask you to forgive me. I've only done a little bit of researching before I came, and it was just a fascinating. You can see us here. We're trying to walk towards the temple, and all of a sudden we got caught up in this procession. See people wearing a lot of yellow and orange, and the pots on their heads are basically offerings. They're, I think, primarily milk pots, which they're taking to the temple to ask for blessings. And there are a lot of different ways of providing offerings. The main one is the milk pots that we saw. One of the more famous ways of bringing offerings, what's become more famous, is through also sacrifice or pain. You'll see later in this video people using piercings as a form of, I guess, sacrifice as an offering. And what was interesting, I think, from a foreigner who has absolutely no idea about this festival before today, was that you kind of have the expectation that that's what they used to do, and maybe they don't do it that much anymore. But from my understanding, apparently the piercings are actually fairly recent in the scheme of this festival, and not necessarily that many people do it, but it's definitely one of the reasons why people know about it, just because it's quite extreme, as you'll see. I think some people might find it actually disturbing, but again, interesting doing some researching about how some of the piercings that you'll see, they've become very, very good at it as far as not inflicting pain. Apparently they don't even leave a scar at the end of it, which you might get almost difficult to believe. This is the first gentleman that we saw. Apparently it started with the piercing of the tongue to prevent talking. That was part of the sacrifice. You can see this gentleman here. He actually has one going vertically, a bar going through his tongue vertically, and then a bar going through one cheek and then through the other cheek, and then chains hanging off those bars that are hooked into his forehead and cheeks. And then he has the milk pots all on hooks that are hooked into his skin, and he's just making his way into the temple with all the other worshippers. As for the whole event itself, obviously just packed with people, super noisy, super crazy, just a real impact on the senses. You've also got the streets are kind of lined with people selling everything from food and treats to clothing and jewelry. It was just kind of like a carnival sort of celebration feeling to it. We just followed people to this temple. We could see worshippers heading upstairs. There's this other major temple on the side of the hill that we didn't go up. It was hard. When you're here as a foreigner, you kind of want to experience and see what it's all about, but by the same token, you don't want to interrupt what's an important event to many people here. And so we're trying to be respectful while also wanting to share what we saw and what we experienced. We came across these 3 gentlemen here. 2 of them were just completely covered in the little silver pots. This gentleman here has hooks in his back that are attached to a bunch of ropes, and then those ropes are wrapped around another gentleman behind him. It is quite confronting. I have seen photos of this kind of thing before, but when you're actually there and seeing it, it's a very different experience. You can see them in kind of a trance-like state, although it's hard to tell. We definitely saw other people that were on something. These guys kind of were just fairly relaxed, really. They obviously can't drink on their own, so you can see they have helpers there helping them drink. The guy on the left just has the bar through the cheeks, and then obviously the guy on the right over there has the vertical bar as well as the horizontal bar. Now, it's a bit harder to see, but the vertical bar goes through his tongue, so his tongue is permanently out because it's trapped by the bar that goes through his cheek, so he can't actually pull his tongue inside his mouth. Obviously can't drink at all. That's what these other guys are there for. And getting ready to hike up the mountain to the other temple. We also saw a lot of these guys coming and twisting at the bars. At first I thought they were just sort of adjusting for comfort or something, but the way they keep twisting it, I don't know, someone out there, feel free to please correct me if I'm wrong on any of the things I'm talking about, because this is all very new to me. It kind of felt like they were maybe twisting just to keep it from setting or something like that, so it might be easier to remove at the end of the day. Then we're back heading away from the festival, and just on the way out we just noticed this one more gentleman. Again, you see the guy on the back is actually leaning back on the ropes, pulling the hooks. And then this other gentleman came in and also helped pull on the hooks. You can see the lime on the end. Limes are also apparently a fairly traditional offering. But I couldn't leave without getting some of these Indian trees, which are really, really nice. Carl and I did this on their own, so we didn't take Tess or the kids. We didn't really know what to expect. I think it would have been difficult for them, but we brought them all back something to enjoy from the festival. And that really was just the start of the day. That festival ramped up even more at night, is our understanding, but we wanted to do something with the kids for the end of Chinese New Year as well. So we headed out that evening just down to Straits Quay. As you can see, the weather was not on the side of Chinese New Year, but cherry blossoms and lights. So again, this is still just within our complex of where we live. But right next door is Straits Quay, which is an area that has shops and restaurants and things, and they're always on board with the celebrations, so we knew that something would be happening there. You saw our Christmas video, you'll note this is all the Christmas and rides and everything had been pretty quickly replaced by Chinese New Year festival decorations and setups. This is the LED dragon dance, which was good fun. Probably a little too loud for Luke's liking. He doesn't like loud noises and everything was loud. But to his credit, he stayed and watched and blocked his ears and enjoyed it. We're all getting very tired, and it also started to rain, unfortunately, so we had the warrior drums. Plus some other crazy little dances that happened around the place. They're a bit of fun. And then of course, finally got some fireworks. Although very muted fireworks based on the fact that it had been raining for most of the evening. Which is a bit of a shame because we'd basically got these fireworks every night for the past almost 2 weeks. So we thought there was going to be a giant one at the end, but at least we got some. And that was the end of Giant Day.